friends, I am back with my review of the Kia Optima and a story. As I mentioned before, I had kind of a crazy week. Was it last week? Yeah, I had the opportunity to review the Kia Optima, and I have to tell you, when I get these opportunities to review a car, they tell me the make and the model, but beyond that, I don't look anything up about the car before I see it for the first time. So I never know, you know, is it a sport car? Is it like a minivan? I have no idea whatsoever. This will be the third Kia that I reviewed. We're a Kia family. I'm in a Kia right now. This is my own Kia. I had a Kia minivan before this, and I'm a big Kia fan. And the last few cars I've done have been Kias, fortunately. I did a Kia Sedona, is that what it's called? The minivan one. And I did the Kia Sorento last, which was that very nice SUV. And so anyways, they told me I was going to do a Kia Optima. And so when I showed up to pick up the car, I was like, oh, it's a sedan. Huh. And I was actually surprised. I guess I didn't think of myself as a sedan person. And now that I'm thinking about it, I haven't really had a sedan. You know, this is a Kia Soul. And like I said, I had the minivan. Before that, I had a Volkswagen Beetle. So I don't really think of myself as a sedan kind of a person. But I have to tell you, this car really won me over. It was surprisingly really fun to drive. It was actually fun. It had the eco fuel mode, so amazing mileage. I actually drove it the same amount of miles as I had driven the previous Kia, the Kia Sorento, right? The SUV. Same number of miles. I had even more gas. I was impressed with that car. This car had even more gas left over at the end of the week. I had driven it like 300 miles and I still had almost a quarter of a tank left. It's pretty good. Lots of city driving, lots of highway driving. Yeah, amazing. But it was actually fun. That sport mode, super fun. I was like, whee, driving this car. And I tried to look up in the specs. I couldn't find it, but it was so comfortable. I would swear to you, I don't know if this is actually true, but it felt like the seats had like memory foam in them. It felt like one of those Tempur-Pedic mattresses. It was so comfortable. And the floor pads were padded as well. But the reason I was really so thankful to have this car had nothing to do with any of that. During the week that I had the car, I had our first appointment with our new family doctor. And so I took my son, my first grader, to meet the new family doctor. The new family doctor office is on Coronado Island, which is actually it's a peninsula, but we call it an island. The easiest way to get there is over this big long bridge called the Coronado Bridge. And it sounds like it's far, but it's actually like 15 minutes from my house, super close. So, take a look at the dash. Just take a look at this. It's a really gorgeous dash. Sorry, shaky camera. Sorry about that. One of the things, probably my favorite thing about this car was that dashboard, and which I'm a big fan of the Kia dash display anyway, but this particular model had the easiest navigation system I have ever used anywhere. It was easier than the one on my phone. It was easier than any car I've ever tried. It was the easiest. I loved it. And so I used it to find the doctor's office because, as I said, it's on Coronado Island. Every single time, unless I'm going to the beach, I can find the beach in Coronado, but any place else I've ever had to go, anybody's house or anything like that, I always get lost, always. So I put in the doctor's office. It took us right there, got great parking, went up and we had our first appointment with the doctor. And he's examining my son and he goes, he's looking in his ear. And he says, oh, how long ago did your last doctor put this tube in your son's ear? I said, what tube? He said, the tube in your son's ear. I said, there's no tube in my son's ear. He said, are you sure? Am I sure? Oh, okay. Clearly, this doctor thinks I'm the worst mother in the world. This is the doctor's appointment that's going to end with like the CPS people coming in. Oh my gosh. So yeah, there was a round thing in my son's ear, apparently. And in my defense, if I can just say, at no point ever in his entire life has my son ever gone, ow, my ear, or, oh, my ear itches or hurts, or, you know, has it been rubbing his ear? Never. Never. I've never seen him do anything with his ear or mention his ear at all. But there's something in his ear and it's green. It's like bright green. It's like the Incredible Hulk green. So the doctor tried everything he could to get it out. He says, I'm really sorry. I can't get this out of here. I'm afraid you're going to have to take him to the emergency room. The emergency room. So, using the navigation, we went to the emergency room. And I mean, it could have been so much worse. It really, he wasn't in any pain. He, you know, wasn't infected or anything like that. But it was hours in the emergency room with people like freaking out all around us. And so he was really scared. And by the time we got out of there, when we were walking out of the hospital back to the car, my son goes, this is so my kid. He goes, I want mint chocolate chip ice cream. And I said, me too. And I remembered that there's this really, really great ice cream place near the beach, as most beach towns have like a fabulous ice cream place, don't they? I remember that there was this really great ice cream place near the beach there on Coronado Island. I couldn't remember the name of it. Couldn't remember the name. So in the navigation thing in the dash, I simply put in, all I put in was premium ice cream. Ba-bam, there it is. Moo Time. I think it's a chain, but Moo Time it's called. So it took us, it navigated us to Moo Time. And so, yeah, so we went to Moo Time and my son chose a scoop of mint chocolate chip ice cream, the exact color of the crayon that the good doctors at Coronado Emergency Room extracted from his ear hours before. Yeah, he was pretty happy. I don't know what I would have done. I tried, I couldn't really find it on my phone. So yeah, I was so thankful to have this car, you guys. First of all, I would never have found the doctor's office on my own. I would have driven all over that blasted island. And I would not have been able to have our little ice cream date afterward. So, but you know, in the end, it was, like I said, it could have been so much worse, but this car was so awesome. It was fabulous fuel efficiency, so comfortable, so fun to drive. And by the way, my other favorite thing about this car, it wasn't a huge car, you know, but like, especially compared to the Sorento, which is it's an SUV. And the Sedona, which is a minivan, is quite large too, sits like 7. For a sedan, it had an enormous trunk, enormous. I had a few things to take to Goodwill, and so I had this one big garbage bag. You can see this is a full size like garbage bag in this picture, and you can see it's like it looks like a tiny little grocery bag. It's not. It's a big garbage bag, and also a floor lamp. I put the whole floor lamp in the trunk of the car without having to take it apart, or it just popped it right in and took it to the Goodwill. Loved this car. It was so fun and so easy to use. And, yeah, I can't say enough good things about it. Turns out I am a sedan person. Who knew? Who knew? Those of you who are moms, have you had the take your kid to the emergency room experience? I've heard awful stories. So I think it was okay. It could have been so much worse. I know. Like I said, he was never crying. In fact, he was giggling because they had to suction it out of his ear. And I guess that tickles. So the only problem he had was that he was laughing too hard. But he was freaked out. He was freaked out by being in the hospital. Poor little guy. But yeah, Kia Optima. Thumbs up. And check it out. If you guys are looking for a sedan, I think it's a suitable car for a family of 4. I know our family, we didn't feel cramped in it at all. I would even say it was roomier. It was at least as roomy as this car, our Kia Soul. So yeah, loved it. Loved it. Thank you, Kia. Bye.